Nation, welcome back into Murph's Fan Cave for another RFR conversation. And very proud to welcome today a man who is a veteran photographer for the Las Vegas Review-Journal. And we're going to talk to him about his experience with Raider Nation. Welcome to the show, Kevin Cannon.
Hi, Murph. Great to talk to you.
Great to talk to you as well, Kevin. Appreciate you taking some time for us this morning. So first, before we get into kind of about the Raiders and this recent project that you've had, tell us a little bit about you and how you got started as a photographer and ended up in Las Vegas.
Well, I guess I've been a photographer my whole life. It's all I've ever known. It's all I've ever done. And I came to Vegas almost 22 years ago, actually, 1999. I was doing freelance. I was working in Northern Nevada and doing freelance for the paper here, and they offered me a job out of the blue. And my wife is from here, from Las Vegas, and she wanted to come back, so we came back.
Oh, good. And now you're originally a Bay Area guy, right? So were you obviously had an awareness of the Raiders, but were you a Raider fan or are you a pesky Niner fan?
Well, I grew up in South San Francisco near Candlestick Park, and we had very close family friends, like family, who had season tickets, and they had 4, and they had 2 extra every game, and we got to go a lot. And, of course, very easy to be a Niner fan in the 80s.
Yeah. Not a tough team to root for back then, was it?
Right. So, and, I've been a journalist my whole life, so it's hard to really say I'm a fan. I'm not a columnist. I'm not an opinion journalist. I'm required to be completely unbiased and not be fanboy at all, during my job. We're not allowed to ask for autographs or pose for selfies with anyone. You have to be strictly professional 100% of the time when we're around the team.
Good. Yeah, that job is for guys like me that are, locked up in our bonus rooms, screaming about the Raiders every week. That's our jobs, to be the fans, and we depend on professional folks like you to document the team for us and to share with us all the in and outs of of it. So let me ask you about you mentioned you've been before we jump into entirely about the Raiders. You mentioned you've been taking pictures your whole life. You've been a photographer your whole life and professionally for a very, very long time. What's some of your favorite projects you've gotten a chance to work on? Is there a certain piece or is there just an overall project that you are fond of?
Well, I love it all. Way back when Facebook first started having Facebook Live, like that very same day or at least that very same week, I started doing Facebook live streams, just whatever, anything I thought anybody would be interested in. And my bosses really seem to love it. I do Facebook Live several times a week. Anything that I find interesting. We had the NFL Sunday Night Football Grill here in town this week. And so I did a Facebook Live on that on the Vegas Nation Facebook page. Vegas Nation, by the way, is the team at the Las Vegas Review-Journal, the Army, I should say, that covers Raider Nation. And so we call ourselves Vegas Nation. And so I do a lot of Facebook Live, and I'm really, really enjoying that and doing commentary. Again, not opinion commentary, just telling what's happening and some of the history of what's happening. And I really enjoy that. And then we have also that evolved into this. We have a Vegas Nation pregame show every Sunday, 9 to 10 on Cox Cable, Channel 14, Your View, Channel 14. And I've become kind of an on-air TV type reporter, roving fan reporter, and I've been going to fan watch parties and gatherings every week.
That's awesome.
Not the bye week, obviously, but and for this Sunday's show, which we'll wait to see what happens on Sunday. But for this Sunday's show, I'm not going to a watch party. The game was supposed to be at 5:20, and it's hard to get fans fired up at 9 a.m. If we had a regular season with non-COVID and fans at the stadium, they would be there at 9. They would be grilling. They would be having breakfast at 9, and I could do my fan piece at 9 a.m. For a 5:20 game. But I can't do that now. So we have a tape piece, and it's going to be that Sunday Night Football grill coming to town.
Okay, good. And now tell Raider Nation, anybody listening, where they can find all this stuff. Where can we go to find all your work and all of your content?
Great question. Thank you for asking. So that TV show is on Cox Cable Channel 14 in Las Vegas, Your View, but it's on all the Las Vegas Review-Journal social platforms. It's on the RJ Facebook page, the Vegas Nation Facebook page, our YouTube channel. You can find it on my personal Facebook page. My personal Twitter is KM Cannon Photo. That's at KM Cannon Photo. And if you are in Vegas and have any unique fan stories you want to tell, I am the fan reporter. And email me at kcannon, that's KCANNON at reviewjournal.com. That's all one word, no hyphen, REVIEWJOURNAL.
That's awesome. Now we were in Las Vegas for the, I'm originally a Bay Area guy. I live in Middle Tennessee now. I live outside of Nashville, but I was in Vegas for the home opener. Of course, there was no fans in the stadium. But we had a live watch party at the Stage Door Casino. It was phenomenal. It was, Raider Nation was in full force, and it was such a nice communal experience considering all this lockdown that we've all been dealing with. It was nice to get amongst Raider fans and celebrate a big win. Now, one of the recent projects you've worked on, one of many, and the one that got my attention was that you had an opportunity to photograph some folks at Stage Door. So I got a lot of questions for you about not only that experience, but about the Raiders as a whole and what it's meant to Las Vegas. But first, let's start off. Let me just ask you about that particular photo shoot and like what that was like for you being at Stage Door for our most recent win against the Chiefs.
Stage Door was incredible. I wish I could have met you there. I was actually on opening night. I was at another bar. I go to a different one each week. I was at a place called Johnny Rockers, which had an incredible, huge party, and it seemed like everyone was there. All those characters, the Squid, every single character was there at that party at Johnny Rockers for opening night. Home opening night, Monday Night Football. So you were at Stage Door that night? You said?
Yeah, that's correct. I was with Raider Cody. We did a live stream during the game, and again, yeah, same thing. We had a lot of super fans there, Gorilla Rilla and Kevin the Raider Nerd, who does the Mandalorian thing, and like there was quite a few folks. Heck, we even had former head coach Hugh Jackson was there.
Wow. Yeah. Gorilla Rilla was at my party too. He, all these bars are pretty close to the stadium, so he must have
probably bounced around. Yep. Absolutely.
Anyway, Stage Door is incredible. They're calling it Ricky's East, and you're from the Bay Area. I'm sure you're familiar with Ricky's.
Absolutely.
And I forget what year it was. Sports Illustrated named Ricky's the number 2 sports bar in the nation. I think that was way back in 2005. And Gruden has had fan appreciation parties there. It's an incredible sports bar. There's no doubt about that. It's in San Leandro near the stadium in Oakland. And this is kind of becoming Ricky's East. A lot of people are calling it that. I don't think it's quite as big, but those are true Raider fans. You were there. And when I pulled into Stage Door for the Chiefs game, my gosh, you could feel the excitement in the air. And these are true fans. These are not casual fans. And they know the difference that Ruggs and Brown are going to make on the field. And they did. These fans really know their players. And they were so excited to have those 2 players in the lineup. And they were right. They really made a difference, those 2 guys, and it's too bad about Trent Brown right now. Of course, he had 2 positive tests, so he's definitely quarantining right now, and the whole offensive line, of course. And we'll see what happens on Sunday. I don't know. I'm not allowed to have an opinion, of course. You get paid to have an opinion. I get paid to not have an opinion.
Well, yeah, and we're amateurs around here at Raiders Fan Radio. This is just a podcast done out of love for the Raiders, and any revenue that we generate, we give it all away. We have a foundation that we support called the One Nation Foundation, and we give everything away. But that said, I'm the one that gets to have the wily opinions about things, and I think that it's sad that the Raiders are in the position that they are, considering the high that we were all coming off of from the Kansas City win to now this, when we had a chance to go out there and really show what we're all about on Sunday Night Football in front of the world. And now we've not only lost that opportunity, but potentially, we got to see what's going to happen with the game, because we can't field 8 offensive linemen. So we'll see. I'm hoping by Tuesday. I'm hoping that maybe we get a Tuesday game. We've seen that already. There is precedent for that. And what do you think about this whole notion that not the Raiders, but the NFL is trying to kind of like cram everything into this already set schedule? Like, we got nothing but time. Like, isn't there a world where we could just kind of drag it out as much as we need to?
I guess so. And the Bucs, are they playing on Monday night? So they have a little more time. They could do it on Monday or Tuesday. It wouldn't affect them at all. They're already here in town. So they could do it Monday if they wanted to. I'm selfish. I want to go to the stadium. It's beautiful. I want to be there on Sunday. It's Sunday afternoon football instead of Sunday night football now. But I hope the game still goes on personally. We'll see what happens. I guess 4 of the linemen could be cleared by as early as Saturday or early Sunday morning. So I think it could happen, and I'm going to be ready. I've got all my gear ready to go. I've got all my photo captions are all pre-written, and we got to get the photos out almost instantly as we shoot them. And we have a special program for our photo captions where you just type in the player's number and everything just comes right up. And it's a lot faster to write your photo captions and send your photos in now.
So being the man, on the scene and documenting this stuff visually for Raider Nation, like I gotta ask, and normally I like to keep everything on a positive note here, but how disappointing was it for you to not be able to get, access to? I mean, I'm sure you have access to the stadium, but not being able to go in the stadium with a full, crowd, taking the pic. Like, I mean, that had to have been career-wise one of the biggest opportunities for you out there, no?
Sure. I mean, everybody wants to shoot pictures at an NFL game. There's no doubt about that. We all fight for it. We're going to have 4 photographers at the game on Sunday, and we do for all home games. And there's a whole Vegas Nation team there covering the game as well, sideline reporters, that type of thing. Of course, we'd like to be on the field, but it's kind of also interesting that we're able to roam in the seats a little bit. So really you gain a vantage point that you normally wouldn't get per se, huh? Right. I'm not necessarily saying it's a better vantage point, but sometimes if you're shooting from a little bit higher, it kind of cleans up the background a little bit so the subjects kind of pop. I'm sure you saw Ben Hager's photo of that incredible catch by Ruggs. Like, my gosh,
beautiful.
It was in a beautiful, clean background. So when you're a little higher vantage point, the background's a little cleaner and the subject really pops a little more. You could see the sweat and the stress on Ruggs' face. His arms were braided with that safety, and he caught that ball. And I could not believe he caught the ball. We were all watching it at Stage Door, and I've never seen such joy on fans' faces, and just stunned joy when he caught that ball and when the Raiders beat the Chiefs. It was the closest thing I can remember in my entire career of seeing faces like that was when Obama won his first election. There was just the Democratic National Party in Las Vegas at their watch party. The faces had that same just stunned joy that, like, I cannot believe this is happening. And that was the Stage Door.
Wow.
That was insane. I've never seen such joy on people's faces when I think they knew that the Raiders were good. And when you have all your players, well, they don't have all their players. There's still quite a few we're missing. But when you have Ruggs and Brown, I mean, Brown is so good. And it's really disappointing that he's not going to be playing this week anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. The fact that the Raiders have been able to keep it together as well as they have, considering the injuries that they've had to deal with, I think is pretty impressive. And I'm with you. And he's a big man and he's good at his position. And it's unfortunate that he's had these, injury struggles, and now with the COVID situation has been pretty tough. But I just hearing you describe that and hearing you describe, what it's like for you all in the stadium on game day a little bit. That's a unique insight that I know Raiders fans love to hear. Anything up before I want to be sensitive to your time here today, and we appreciate you joining us. Anything else you want to share with us about that game day experience? Something that a unique portion of that you could share with Raider fans?
Well, I am one of the many, many photographers at the paper, and we have regular shooters at the game, like Ben Hager, who I mentioned. He goes to every single game, home and away, and there's quite a few shooters who are there every single game, and I am not. I do my roving fan stuff, so this will actually be my first game this season at Allegiant Stadium. It's our third home game. It'll be my first game covering the Raiders at Allegiant Stadium, so I don't have any experience to. Okay,
great. Where can we? Okay, so then tell us where fans can go to see what you're getting ready to do then this weekend.
Well, you can follow me on Twitter at KM Canyon Photo, and that's also the same handle for Instagram at KM Canyon Photo. And So yeah, I'll be tweeting and Instagramming and doing everything I can. The NFL, of course, has strict protocols. I do a lot of Facebook Live, but I will not be doing that on that day. They have very strict protocols, even outside of the game. Any live broadcast or things like that, they are very strict about. But I'm gonna hopefully talk to fans in the parking lot, and hopefully I'll get permission to do some Facebook Live on that on the Vegas Nation Facebook page. So that's on Facebook at Vegas Nation. Look for me there. And look for the whole Vegas Nation team Sunday morning, every Sunday morning, 9 to 10, our pregame show. It's always at 9 to 10, no matter when they play, every Sunday.
All right.
And, you'll see the whole team there.
That's awesome. Well, Kevin Cannon, we appreciate your time this morning. Appreciate that, and going to love to experience this when your eyes get to do it for the first time, and we're going to get to be right there with you and appreciate all the work that you and the rest of your team are doing out there to document this stuff for us fans, because as we're all heartbroken that we can't be in there on game day, so we're so dependent on you all to bring this stuff to us, and you all do a fantastic job, and really thankful for the way that not only your team and your paper but your city has embraced the Raiders. Man, it's just it's a breath of fresh air compared to what Raider Nation is used to over the past handful of years. So thank you for everything that you guys are doing out there.
Well, thank you, Murph. I'm looking forward to shooting alongside Ben Hager. You got to look for his incredible action photos, vegasnation.com.
All right, sounds good. So we'll talk to you again soon, Kevin. Hopefully next time we're in Vegas, we'll get a chance to link up.
Yes, thank you, Murph.